Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Time now for our next bout of the evening. Three judges score the contest at ringside: Chris Watts, Mark Wesson, and Steve Cook Abbott. The referee in charge of this contest is Mace Singh from Birmingham. Ladies and gentlemen, Fight UK MMA presents a welterweight contest scheduled for three-minute rounds of MMA. Firstly, fighting out of the blue corner. He was on the scales of 161.8 pounds, and this evening fights out of Warhammer by way of his native Poland. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the Land-Based Fight Club, will you please welcome Bartek Marek? And across the ring stands his opponent. This evening on our right, fighting out of the red corner. His official weight for this bout is 161.4 pounds. Representing Leicester Shoot Fighters. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ranjeet Baria. This is a welterweight contest scheduled for three-minute rounds of MMA.
Welterweight action once again here at Fight UK 8. Amateur portion of our card as we see Bartek Marek in the black shorts against Leicester Shoot Fighters Ranjeet Baria in the white and purple shorts. Ranjeet Baria, a fight we've seen before. They have a great grappling pedigree, but as I say that, answers with a beautiful 1-2.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Marek other than, oh, looks hurt with a left hook there early doors. Baria showing some crisp hands early here.
As I said before, Baria, as we've seen him before, known as a very strong grappler, but he's really shown an element to his game and takes the back of his opponent. It's a clinical performance from Baria this. Marek really struggling.
Yeah, he was eager to avoid the striking range, Ben, and now he's eager to avoid the grappling range because Ranjeet Baria is all over him at this stage. Both hooks in, stood up, fighting the hands. He looks to have the choke in now. Sorry, looks to have the left arm around the throat.
It did look like he had that choke in, but he's got the body triangle in position. Now he's just left it, now he's going to standard hooks. This is a very, very tough spot.
From Baria's point of view, Ben, he's got so much time. He can just take his time here, soften his man up with strikes, look for the choke again.
Marek really struggling from this point of view. Baria, like you say, anchored himself on a huge pick on the slam, and all that's done is sunk him deeper into the rear naked choke. He strips the hands and does well, but now maybe looking for the palm on palm if he's got it. The short choke. And as much as a choke, we could just see a finish from the neck crank here, Dave.
Have to credit Bartek Marek, Ben. Shown some great heart, hasn't come here to roll over, fights the hands. He's coming from Poland via Wolverhampton. He's no stranger to wars.
The control barrier exhibiting has been flawless, and now this is a tough spot as he flattened his man out. Looks to land some strikes. Those hooks anchored in. Marek really struggling.
Does show, Ben, how difficult it is, even for a seasoned grappler like Baria, to get the chokes on with these larger amateur gloves especially. It's very difficult to get those chokes secured in.
You make a very good point, and now to almost a half mount off back position, some tough shots. But Marek's really struggling under there.
Heavy ground and pound from Ranjeet Baria.
Now maybe looking for an armbar if he can grab it.
Wow. Wow, Bartek Marek survives.
What a transition. As Marek came flying forward, Baria a little overzealous in pursuing him. It's the end of the round. 10 more seconds, but Baria swims the legs up. He's got the guard nice and high.
Wow, what an opening round performance from Ranjeet Baria. All over his man, Marek, on the feet, on the ground. What a whirlwind. Had his back for a large portion of the round, wasn't able to sink the choke, but landed some heavy ground and pound. Ben, Baria looks hugely impressive here tonight.
Barry's a guy that we've seen, as I say, quite a few times, an ever-improving prospect. And Marek's done well in reality to make it out of that round. He was in some tough spots a lot of the time. I'm surprised that he elected to fall backwards and try and shake his man that way, because all that did for Baria was lock that choke in a little bit tighter. But credit to Marek for toughing it out and not tapping. It looked very close at one point. I think the fact was that it was a little more under the chin than it was under the neck. That may have saved him in the end. But as you say, I mean, Marek wasn't able to find any solace on the ground when the fight came to the floor, but Baria looked very dangerous on the feet to start things off.
Yeah, it's difficult to see where Marek is going to want to take this fight now. He's certainly got the one thing you can't train for, Ben, and that's a fighter's heart. So let's see what goes on in this second period. Basing calls the fighters.
Marek backing up as Baria looking to take the center of the octagon. You can tell already, Dave, Baria's looking to strike, establishes that jab nicely.
Some bruising on the head of Marek. Bit of a lazy hook from Baria there. So he needs to get his composure. The hooks are definitely there for him, the left hook in particular.
Baria's corner from Leicester Shoot Fighters telling him to be patient, not to force anything. The big head kick from Bartek doesn't quite land. The Baria coming in, swinging wildly. Be careful of overcommitting, shaking the arms out a little bit.
Marek queuing up some sort of spinning kick there. This might take something unorthodox like that to take Baria out of his game.
Marek throwing single shots. I think that's the problem. There's a nice bruising right hook. Baria's coming forward. Marek's got to be very careful, Dave, because as he's retreating, his chin is wide open.
Yeah,
head back.
He's dropping his hands as well, Ben. Very, very dangerous game to play against Baria. I think Marek is looking for some sort of high kick. He seems to be measuring towards the right side there, but he's in danger of eating a big left hook.
The mouth wide open, he's taking a lot of shots and just trying to shrug him off, but Baria's rocks the head back with an amazingly good jab. Technically perfect from Baria.
That's what Baria's got to look to do, Ben. That's what his corner wants to see him do. Look to counter and put these combinations together, not look for the big one shots. Get that jab working. Both fighters landed in that exchange. Marek, he's so game, Ben.
Still coming forward, but he's got to be careful of his hands in those exchanges. Baria, as you say, being a little more cerebral in the second round. Sat into the fight a little bit, and I think he appreciates the toughness of his opponent. But to be fair, I mean, we talked about him, he's been the defensive quite a lot, but he's withstood these tremendous punishments. But once again, he's got to be careful of circling backwards. Chin really up on a flagpole.
Beautiful left hand from Baria. Blood trickling down the nose now of Bartek Marek.
Marek as well.
Lovely right hand from Marek, Ben. Baria just shrugs it off.
Marek's got to be careful of the mouth as well, wide open in this position. He goes for a front kick and falls back with it.
Corner of Baria calling for him not to get lazy. Does look a little jaded compared to the first round, Ben. And again, he is throwing a lot of power shots there. I think from Baria's point of view, Ben, I'd like to see him work that jab because it's been hugely effective at times in the second round. He's almost been too inclined to look for the big looping shots.
I think you make a very good point with that. Establishing the jab has been the key to everything that Baria's done successfully in this round and indeed in this fight. The jab's where it all comes from. And midway through that last round, he landed several jabs, one right in front of our position that really rocked his man's head back. And what we're noticing with Marek is the way that he's retreating in a straight line a lot of the time with his head up. If Baria, after he throws that jab, can put 2 or 3 punches together, his chances of landing something big are elevated massively. But that being said, as we go into the later rounds, fatigue is going to be a key factor for both guys.
Certainly, Marek definitely a tough customer. showed some great heart to get through these first 2 rounds. And let's see what this final round is going to bring us. Fight his touch glove to get this third period underway.
Marek in the black shorts, Ranjeet Baria from Leicester Shoot Fighters in the white and purple trunks. Oh, some nice shots from both guys.
Wow, Marek has got a great chin, Ben. He seems to recover so quickly from these shots. 2 or 3 times I thought he's on his way out of there.
Baria once again countering nicely.
Lovely right hook from Marek in between that. He is catching shots himself, but Baria really just walking through his man at this moment.
You see Baria's corner, the Leicester Shoot Fighters want him to pick that ankle and pull his man away from the cage. So he passes with his left leg.
Corner looking for Baria to suck Marek out off that cage.
Impressive performance this from Baria. Against a very tough opponent in Bartek. Marek, take nothing away from the man. He's come here to fight, and fight he has done. Bit of a stalemate here from this position, but not for long. It's the mount position now. Some big ground and pound coming in. And Baria really establishing this is where he wants to be at this round. Marek really struggling. As the hand is under the neck. Real fight this.
Great choke defense again from Marek. But now he's shipping some shots. Referee basing, taking a close look. I think Baria should perhaps just strike here, Ben.
Over under, and now he goes to the throat. It looks like he's got the choke, but he needs to move his elbow down a little bit. And there's the tap.
He's tapping. Fantastic performance from Ranjeet Baria. Of course, commentators curse. As soon as I said go for the strikes, he managed to just get that short choke in, I think it was. Excellent performance from Ranjeet Baria, but let's take nothing away from Bartek Marek. He came to fight and made Baria work for it every second of the round.
What a tough guy Bartek Marek is. Like you say, he came here and gave no quarter to his opponent. Ranjeet Baria looked at the start of the first round like he could have got his man out of there in the first, but it's a testament to the toughness of the opponent that Marek hung in there for as long as he could. Landed some good strikes of his own, but it just seemed that Baria was landing the more precise shots. And when he got the back in the third round, the rear naked choke came on very quickly. And as you said, Dave, more of a short choke to crank back for that finish. But a great win once again for Leicester Shoot Fighters Ranjeet Baria.
Ladies and gentlemen, our two amateur fighters of Baria.